Hello everyone and welcome back to round 9 in the GT Sport League at Gavra Racing. We're here at the Fuji International Speedway, and just like last week I'm joined by my co-commentator Mr. Thunder 5050.
Hello.
And today, just like I mentioned, these guys are at the Fuji International Speedway. This track 4.5 kilometers long, total elevation difference of 40 meters, 16 corners, and the longest straight being almost 1,500 meters. And obviously we're in qualifying, 12-minute qualifying session for the drivers, just like we've had for the previous 8 weeks. That's right, previous 8 weeks. It's already round 9. It's gone so quickly, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. This track's, yeah, from what I've driven around this track, I actually kind of enjoy driving around. The last sector is very technical, but that makes it a good track. And we've Duke just about started his first flying lap, so yeah.
Definitely, like you say, very technical track. Not quite a few rooms for error, as you said. A lot of tricky high-speed, medium-speed corners, which are really easy to go wide or go too deep to the corner on the inside or the outside. And obviously there are the grass and the barriers to meet the drivers. But on board with Duke now, the first driver who will be the one to set a lap. He does have Toussaint behind him and GJ, and Woody getting onto the grass, just like I was mentioning earlier, had a half spin, was able to catch it well, and this might not be his best lap. We'll see what he can do in this qualifying session, but we're going to start on board with Duke, the currently second place in the championship, I believe, 6 points behind Toussaint, who is behind him in the Mercedes. 2 Mercedes drivers are currently leading the way. We do have 13 people on the grid today, and one of them is a new driver. If I could find him, here he is. He's Metboy, replacing Jojo Power, who couldn't be here. He couldn't make it tonight. Metboy will be driving the same car, obviously the Audi R8. We'll see how he performs in the race, and also the qualifying session which is to come.
And yeah, Duke's just about 3 corners to go, and then he'll set his first lap. So I think a good time would be a low 38 and maybe a high 27. That would be the top drivers. But maybe a mid 38, 138 is the time to get. But Duke, I think, aborted his lap. I think. No, he didn't.
Just have to wait.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, I think 37-38's a good lap for these guys. We'll see what they can do as Duke's going to come up to the line now. We'll see what time he puts in. It's going to be a 1 minute 30. 8.3. We'll see where Toussaint goes. Behind me goes 3/10 quicker. GJ, we'll see what he can do. He does a 38.6 and Woody does a 39.4. He did have that half spin at turn 1. Tiger Assassin does a 1 minute 39.5. Play Dutch, he goes second with a 1:40.8, and Oriel in 6th place, 1:38.9, and I believe Tobster goes pole. What a lap from him in the Honda NSX at 1:37.4. Currently 5/10 quicker than the next car behind, which is Toussaint. Cricktech sets a 38.3. Good lap from him. That puts him up into 4th place in the Aston Martin. Joe Black comes across the line. That's a 43.8. 1:43.8. And he's back into the pit.
Though, is this a reoccurring event that we've seen happening? Joe Black sets 1 lap, arguably not the best lap either. And then, is he just happy to start last, maybe? Or
not sure. We'll have to wait and see what he does, whether he'll come out and set another lap. But Metboy goes 12th for the 1 minute 45.0. I'm not sure that'll be his quickest lap. We'll have to see what he can do in this race. He probably could find some more time. As come through sector 1 now. Does he improve? He does improve on his lap. So we'll see where he is able to go in this qualifying session. But Duke, I believe, is about to finish. Oh, Duke into the barrier after going wide on the final corner. I'll let you
big damage.
Watch it on board with his perspective. So he's preparing himself for a lap. Just like I was saying, yeah, he's gone onto the AstroTurf, and that's caused the rear to slide out. But Play Dutch, he's gone even quicker, as well as Woody. There are setting lap times quicker than I can see, but Play Dutchy sets a 1:37.1 as a really quick lap from him. Who else set a lap? Tobster reduces the margin to Play Dutchy, a 37.4. Oriel with a 1:38.5, and Simmerberg with a 1:39.2. So we'll see what those guys can do. Simabel, I believe, is in at 11th at the moment, so we'll see what he can do in the Nissan. And
Obviously
hello.
not.
Oh yeah.
It's not ideal for Duke to have to. He's missing probably 1-2 laps maybe by just making a small mistake, and now he will be in the pits. I think he got his car repaired, but he's still in the pits for now, so maybe he's hoping to maybe get 1 or 2, 3 more laps in.
Bit of contact between Play Dutchy and Woody. Play Dutchy with front bumper damage. He was 2/10 up on his lap and is still behind his BMW teammate, you could say. They're not. We currently don't have teammates in this season,
Ooh,
but 2 drivers
Tiger
in
and
the BMW.
Tiger was getting very close to Oriel there. I don't think any contact was made, but they both got very close together.
And as we stand, we do have 5 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Play Dutchy still leads the way. He's coming into the pits to repair the damage, and Holland Campion comes across the line with a 1:38.8, and that puts him in, I believe, 10th place. So only 1.7 seconds behind Play Dutchy, 200ths behind Woody. So we'll see if he can improve, work his way up the grid. Tiger goes third with a 1:37.8. So that's a really good lap from him. He does have the slipstream from Simmerberg, as he's actually going to go down the inside into turn 1. So this lap might be a little bit compromised, but we'll have to see what he can do. But like I was saying, Tiger is now up into P3. 2 Saint in the Mercedes. Your current championship leader is in 4th place. GJ is in 5th place. Griptech in 6th, followed by Duke in 7th. Oriel in 8th. Woody in 9th. Holland Camp in 10th. Metboy in 11th. Simmerbone in 12th. And Joe Black in 13th. But we still do have 4 minutes left to see what these guys can do.
Yeah, and surprisingly, Duke hasn't come out of the pits yet, which is interesting.
So maybe we might see Duke go for fresh tyres at the end of quali, but and these guys have just.
I wonder what his plan is, because has this happened every race? I think it has.
I think we saw it at Spa and Monza as Holland Campion moves his way up into 3rd place, 200ths again, quicker than Tiger. That's how quick qualifying gets here, and wow, these drivers are extremely close to one another.
As Tiger
Actually goes third. He's not happy with Holland beating him. Obviously, we saw it Lago Maggiore as Topster goes provisional pole position by 400ths. That's a quick 1:37.127. Really quick lap from the German driver on the Honda, and he's actually gone ahead of Play Dutchy. But like I was saying, Tiger probably, wants to qualify in front of Holland Campion after Holland Campion qualified in front of him at Lago Maggiore, which obviously we saw Tiger won that race in the end. So he's out to see what he can do tonight. 3/10 behind Play Dutchy.
Really impressive for Topster. Maybe the Honda just really suits this track, because just maybe it likes the tight corners and elevation changes.
As Metboy comes across the line with... Oh, sorry, to start his out lap. Internet connection.
Dutchy might have had a spin, I'm not sure. Well, there's a yellow flag where he was. I don't think he did.
When you get the message saying your internet connection is currently not sufficient to broadcast your gameplay, but I'll try and capture as much as we can. As there's someone about to cross the line, I can't actually see who it is, and they've crossed the line. I'm going to have absolutely no idea who it is. Let's Play Dutchy. Who is that on the run to turn 1? Oh, there we go, it's Holland Campion. Holland Campion starting for another lap. As you can see in the background, there's quite a train of cars occurring. There is Play Dutchy. If we ride on board with him, just look behind, there's Woody and
Tiger going into the pits.
GJ behind, but Tiger coming into the pits, so
this
not
is
sure he's
going
going
to be very tight.
to get a lap. We'll just have to wait and see.
It's going to be corners are going to have to get cut here.
There's only 1 minute 20 seconds left, so we'll just have to wait and see if he's able to complete his lap. But what's the weather conditions for the race? We will have a clear race. Just always, we haven't changed the weather settings or anything. It's just normal clear sunny. We might have some light cloud here and there, but it's not guaranteed no rain for the race. The race is an hour long, as you saw there, Cryptek moves his way up into 6th place, 2/10 behind Toussaint and 1/100th behind GJ. So it's actually gone purple in Sector 1.
The host has just ended the game. Oh dear.
My co-commentator's left me again. Just disgraceful.
Did anyone else just leave there?
I think that was just your
Did
internet.
anyone else just... It's really weird. There's never any problem when I race, but when I commentate...
Cryptek getting a little bit loose on the rear as he's sliding his Aston Martin through turn 7, I think that is. As Thunder has joined back. I thought that was someone setting a time, but it's just you joining the room. Thankfully you're not racing, so there's no issues with you trying to get back into a car. As Play Dutchy's going to come across the line. Would he improve? He does improve by 800, sorry, with a 37.045. Will we see anyone improve and potentially beat that? Tops is coming up to the line now. Doesn't improve, but I think he's got one more chance to get to lap. No, he doesn't. You can see his speed is steadily decreasing, which means the AI has taken over.
Oh no. Play Dutchy, for me it says he's in 5th place. I think that's a bit of lag.
But probably has. I think Play Dutchy actually made it to do another lap. Topster hasn't made it. Tiger is on a cooldown lap. Holland Campion's still on a lap, Toussaint's still on a lap. Cryptek's finished in 6th place, and I believe Simmerberg behind him.
Duke's on a lap?
Was coming across the line. Yes, Simmerberg's finished. Duke is... Where is Duke? I can't find Duke. Duke is on a lap. He's going to be one of the first to set a lap, as Oriole has actually improved. He's moved his way up into 9th place with a 1:38.4. Only 1.3 seconds behind Play Dutchy. That's really close qualifying session. As if I can try and see who's behind, it's Holland Campion. So Holland Campion's behind Duke, so I'll get that ready for you guys. It's actually Holland Campion's pretty close to
Duke's made to cross the line.
Play Dutchy, so there could be some slipstreaming there as Duke's coming up to the line now. Does he improve? Oh, he doesn't improve. Will Holland or Play Dutchy improve? Neither of them improve, and that is qualifying almost over as Toussaint moves his set up into 4th place with the 1:37.6 and Woody with a 1:38.5.
Wow.
I believe that's everyone across the line. So Play Dutchy again will start on pole position, his 5th pole position out of 5 races. Followed by Topster in 2nd, Tiger in 3rd, Toussaint in 4th place, followed by Holland Campion in 5th. Cryptek in the Aston Martin will start in 6th place, followed by GJ in 7th. Duke will start in 8th, followed by Oriole in 9th. Woody will start in 10th, Metboy in 11th, Simmerberg in 12th, and Joe Black will round off the grid in the Mustang.
Yeah, that was a really good qualifying, but the race is just about to start.
And it's time now for the race. We've had our 12-minute qualifying session. It's now time for the drivers to do a whole 60 minutes around this circuit. We'll have to wait and see what type of strategies people are on, how much fuel they burn at the start. So let me just get all the stuff up at the bottom. There we go. So we are ready for... I'm not sure how many laps this would be. I'm going to guess around...
Like 35. 40.
I'll work it out later during the race when not much is happening. But here we go, as the drivers will start a rolling start here. We'll get the countdown in a minute. Here we go, 3, 2, 1, and it's, I would say, lights out, and away we go, but there's no lights to go out, and it's along straight down to turn 1. We might see some of the cars like the Aston Martin go for some late moves, as we've seen in the past. There's Tiger looking for a move on Topster. Topster goes defensive to the inside. Will he try going for the move round the outside? Toussaint covering off from Holland Campion in the background. I don't believe there are any other moves at the back. Woody's trying to get past Oriole, and Oriole span round, and that's the Mercedes driver of Oriole out the back, and that's damage for him. Really unfortunate for him. At the back, Woody also getting damaged as Oriole went wide, and then unfortunately Woody was just a passenger in that incident, and unfortunate start for those two. But it's been pretty clean from the first half of the grid, as there's GJ trying to look for a move on Cryptek. The thing is about this track is there are so many different potential lines you could take, which could make overtaking really different, I think, is a good word to use here. Some drivers might opt for the wider, faster inside line, while some might go for the shorter line. And shorter talking of shorter lines, GJ looking for a late move on Cryptek, picking up front left suspension damage and bumper damage, so he might come into the pits for repairs. As in the background you can see Met Boy over the back of Woody. Woody does have that front damage, so maybe Met Boy, the replacement driver for Jojo, might potentially make a move on Woody. Woody might come into the pits as a lap pit for the softs and go long on fuel and tyres. And the Tiger going down the inside of Topster into the final corner. Interesting final corner. As yeah,
that got around Tiger.
Toussaint getting around Tiger. It's an interesting final corner because you can. The optimal racing line is a wide line. However, the inside line is a good for overtaking opportunity. As Toussaint now has a really good run on Topster, and Tiger's going to get the slipstream. It's three wide going down the straight. The second time we've seen the 3 wide moment down a straight. And it's Tiger on the inside, Toussaint in the middle. Topster decides to back out as the two British drivers go side by side through turn 1. It's an Aston versus a Mercedes versus a Honda. 3 different manufacturers are battling it out for the podium. As you can see in the background, Holland Campion in the F-Type is having a look at this battle, not getting involved just yet, hanging back for the moment, as Blade actually leads this race by 2.4 seconds as a result of these guys battling at the back. But a really good start from Toussaint, getting from 4th to 2nd in 2 corners. So that's Topster diving it down the inside of Tiger. So Topster learning a few lessons from Tiger, as we saw a few weeks ago. Toussaint picks up a 5/10 penalty, so he's going to have to serve that potentially in the corners, as Topster's now under pressure from Tiger Assassin. Would he go for a late move? Topster goes defensive, and Tiger's unable to get the move done as of yet.
Oriel and Woody both went into the pits to obviously to repair their damage, but interestingly, both of them have kind of half filled their tanks, so maybe they are expecting to have to make another pit stop, which will.
As the Tiger's now under pressure from Holland Campion. Holland Campion going round the outside, well, was down the inside, now round the outside. Tiger will now have the inside line. Squeezes him a little bit, but no contact made. Good, clean, fair racing from these two so far, as they're now onto the start-finish straight, which will start lap 3 of this race. And the long run into turn 1, a really good overtaking opportunity. As you're on board with Tiger, will he go for a move into turn 1?
He's just a little bit too far back.
Doesn't quite go for anything yet, but I'm sure he'll be eyeing up a move on Holland Campion pretty shortly, as Toussaint now has the 5/10 penalty dropped to 2/10, as he's now got to try and find time on Play Dutchy. Currently 2.8 seconds between them guys. We'll see what they can do in the later stages of this race. But
as Simmelberg goes down the inside of Met Boy.
Simmelberg, good move down the inside of Met Boy, goes a little bit deep. That could allow Met Boy to try and go round the outside. The Nissan versus the Audi, whether we'll see a move from Met Boy, maybe down the inside.
As Campion
Doesn't go for
down the
anything
inside
yet.
of Tiger.
Holland Campion down the inside of Tiger. They're coming up to a heavy braking point, so maybe this corner might favour the Aston Martin, as Tiger decides to back out of that move. But Duke is looking in the background. You can see him there just waiting for the perfect opportunity to pounce on these two. Just like I was saying earlier, many different racing lines, many different overtaking opportunities, so we'll just have to wait and see what these drivers do. As Tiger goes down the inside of Holland, and good move from him. A little bit of will banging, but it's almost 3 wide into the final corner. A red, blue and green car, you love to see it. Going through to the final corner now, Tiger runs a little bit wide, but that will allow him to get a good exit on Holland Campion as they go side by side down the start finish straight. Duke's going to get into the slipstream, and this could potentially be another 3 wide moment. The Mercedes versus the Aston Martin versus the Jaguar F-Type. Holland Campion's all over the back of Tiger as his little bit of contact with Duke. It's 3 wide. Duke decides to back out of it for now and tuck in behind these two as they go side by side into turn 1. Holland Campion on the inside line. Tiger trying to hold it on the outside. Unable to make the move just yet.
A very interesting, as you said, there's many different lines you can take from each corners, but that also means there's many different lines for overtaking. As if one car goes one way, there might be another good racing line which is viable to make a good overtake.
And Duke going down the inside of Tiger. Gets the Tiger's able to defend his P5, but yeah, on that point for that long right-hander, it's you could either go for the long, fast, wide line that Tiger took, or you could take the slower but ultimately quicker, because you're going less distance, but it's the inside line. And we saw there Tiger keep
all over the back of
place.
Toussaint.
As Tobster now all over the back of Toussaint, the Mercedes will have the straight line speed advantage, I think, over the Honda. But I think those two cars are fairly equal in straight line speed. As Tiger's now all over the back of Holland, he goes for it down the inside. It's a good move from him, tiny little bit of contact, but nothing major. And these guys have raced really cleanly in the opening stage of this race.
Oh, GJ has front left arm. Did you get that at the start?
There was contact with GJ, and I believe, I can't quite remember who it was he picked up the damage from, but Tobster now in the slipstream of Toussaint, less than a tenth separating them. Those two drivers go side by side into turn one, the Honda versus the Mercedes. Tobster will have the inside line for turn one, and it's a good move from him. A little bit loose on both drivers. I'm not sure if there was a little bit of contact or the decline of turn one, but Tiger getting past Holland Campion into turn one, and it's a good start for these guys.
As Tobster gets past Toussaint.
And I believe Cryptek served his penalty, which is why GJ was able to overtake him on the straight. I was just able to catch that before the battle. We moved into the battle for the second place. And but currently we've had almost 8 minutes into this race, and it's currently Play Dutchy with another lead in this league. He's currently winning the race so far, followed by Tobster, who's got Toussaint right behind him in third place. We might see a move on the straights between these two. We'll just keep an eye on it.
Duke's all over the back of Holland Campion.
Duke all over the back of Holland Campion. Maybe Campion struggling a little bit in the early phases of this race. I think as long as he stays within slipstream distance, they should be able to. Slipstream can be a really good ally to have on your side. And talking of slipstream, Toussaint is going to have the slipstream on Tobster on the run down to turn one on the start-finish straight. We'll have to wait and see, but you can see on the top left the delta is dropping. Probably not at the rate that Toussaint wants. It's only about 300ths. Maybe 600ths a second.
He pulls to the outside.
He moves over to the outside. Tobster defends the inside line. He'll try the cut back, the switchback move to the inside. Doesn't quite get the inside line. They're still going side by side into turn two. As Toussaint makes a really good move round the outside. That promotes him up into P2. As Holland Campion and Duke going side by side. Duke's able to keep the position for now, but Duke going down the inside of Holland Campion into the long right-hander, and he's able to make the move stick for now. But whether we'll see Holland go for a move down the inside or not yet. The Lightning McQueen Rusty's styled livery on the F-Type against the coffee break of Duke. So two very, very different liveries, but two very different interesting liveries.
Yes, as Woody is caught up to the back of the pack, he's 1.2 seconds off Joe Black, so that's it's a good recovery drive by Woody, and yeah, so hoping he can make some nice overtakes and make his way back up.
Definitely, he does have Joe Black in front of him. Woody has pitted for the super soft tyres. So, and interestingly, if you look at Oriole, he's put on a lot more fuel. So, and he's put on the soft tyres. So potentially that might see him go to the end of the race.
Yes, I think Woody will definitely have to make another pit stop unless he conserves fuel from now on, which I doubt he's going to do.
Holland Campion now in the slipstream of Duke and the Mercedes, the F-Type versus the Mercedes, a German versus a British car. We'll just have to wait and see which one comes out as top of, as Holland moves to the inside line for turn one. Good move, promotes him up into 6th place, but it's not over yet. He defends the inside line really well, actually. It doesn't allow Duke to get the cut back on him, and that's moved his way up into 5th place. But all this battling is allowing Tiger to move away from these guys. Up into P4 now is Tiger. He's
Woody
got 2.8 seconds.
Woody and Joe, I think Woody might have gone on the grass there a little bit, as he looked a bit out of shape, unless there was a tiny bit of contact. I didn't quite catch it. But Woody now right behind Joe Black and hoping to can overtake.
Woody now gaining and gaining on the fast right-hander. Whether he'll go for a move or not, he looks to the outside. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! Joe Black really loose on the rear, and that's caused big damage to both of them. We'll just get another onboard shot from Joe Black's perspective.
Joe Black got very loosey-goosey there, and I think that might have caused him to...
He's got onto the curb, and that's... Oh dear. Unable to catch it. Swipe left, swipe right. It's left and right again. And that's caused both drivers to get damage to their cars. Unfortunate from them. A really unfortunate start for Woody as well. That might see him come into the pits for the second time.
I think Woody gave Joe a tiny tap from behind that just made...
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of a tap from Woody. But currently Duke and Holland Campion going side by side now. Duke looking for the move down the inside, unable to make the move as of yet, but I'm sure he's looking all over the back of Holland Campion. And if you guys could give me 1 second, I'm not sure if my mic's working. Oh no, it is, never mind. As Holland Campion picks up a 5/10 penalty as Duke looks for it down the inside again into the fast right-hander. Oh, he's on the right-hand side. Duke on the outside line, unable to make the move stick yet, but now he's going to try and hold it around the outside actually, but tucks in behind the left-type driver. Couldn't quite remember what car he was in there. As there's Cryptech now in the background looking to gain on GJ. And
is it wrong that Woody is in 3rd place and Joe Black is in 4th?
I believe it is, yes. Woody is currently running in 11th place, still has that front left damage as well, as long as Joe Black having that rear right damage. So we'll see what those guys can do. As I believe Duke and Duke actually got past Holland Campion. I unfortunately missed that. I'll see if I can get a replay. No.
Did Simo Bear have an incident? Because he's about to get lapped.
Is he?
Simo Bear have an incident?
Simmerbo is currently in 9th place under pressure from Met Boy. I think that's your screen, I'm afraid.
Because it's saying blue flag from me, so okay.
If you tried not leaving the whole lobby but just leave the spectator cam and then re-enter it, that might fix all the things. We have seen issues with my spectator cam in the past. As now Met Boy is in the slipstream. Actually, where is Met Boy? Oh, he's still there. I just couldn't see him in the spectator camera as he's got his windscreen wiper on. Interestingly, we've seen other drivers opt for the indicators, the windscreen wipers, and all sorts in this league. So it's nothing new, but really interesting. And Duke now has actually pulled 1.2 seconds on Holland Campion. He's up into 5th place. He'll be looking to try and get ahead of Toussaint and try and reduce the gap in the championship.
As Play Dirty has got himself a 9-second lead. So Play Dirty showing again why he is really hungry for the championship. If he had been in the championship from the start, he'd be running away, but I think he joined with 3-4 races in, so he happened to play a bit of a catch-up game. Championship.
Definitely. Currently has fastest lap. Here's an onboard of what his real driver would be seeing. I'm not sure what camera all the drivers are using. Obviously there are different camera modes. You can see obviously we've got the bonnet cam, we've got the behind the car cam, the front of the car cam, in the car cam, and then my little special spectator cam. Anyway, Topster in 3rd place, currently in the slipstream of Toussaint, who I wonder if he'll make a move to turn 1, only 4/10 behind him. But like we've seen before, the slipstream and the late breakers have really shown their true colours in this race. Gap now down to 2/10 as they approach turn 1 for the 10th time.
Simo Bear and Met Boy, I thought Simo Bear was going into the pits there. I think he did a fake entry into the pits, which may have, I'm not sure, or was he trying to break the slipstream? But still,
potentially.
Met Boy and Simo Bear very close, so keep an eye on that battle.
Potentially trying to break the slipstream using obviously the slipstream. Running right behind the car in front for a cleaner airflow over the car, and that's what Simmerberg was probably trying to break.
Chobster all over the back of Toussaint now. He's getting a good bit of time, only 3/10 separate them, so he might be hoping to make a move.
So we're seeing the opposite of what happened last week with Tobster was defending from Toussaint. Now Toussaint's got to do his best to defend from the Honda driver. These guys running in first and second place have currently put on a really good race for us, and we'll have to see how this battle plans out.
Yeah.
And if these guys battle too much, we might see the likes of Tiger Assassin currently running in fourth place. He might be one to get into the battle as he almost lost the rear on the curb there.
As Met Boy has gone ever so closer to Simmelbear, so there might be moved this straight. As Simmelbear has a 6/10 penalty.
So Simmelbear was able to reduce his penalty to 4/10. See what he's able to, if he can defend from Met Boy in the straight. Met Boy all over the back of him now, so we might see a move into turn one. What could be interesting is the penalty system in this game. When you're serving a penalty, your car does ghost, so this could make overtaking for Met Boy interesting, whether he'll just go straight through him or how the penalty will kick in. We'll just have to wait and see as Met Boy's in the slipstream.
Look for the inside.
Audi versus Nissan as he's on the inside line and does.
He's gone very, very
as
deep.
he's gone wide, there's contact, and Simmerberg has got front damage. Met Boy picking up surprisingly no rear damage, but Simmerberg late on the brakes, turned in while Met Boy was on the inside line.
It's 1/10 away from Toussaint now.
Fortunate from those two is Tobster looking down the inside, doesn't decide to go for a move just yet. He might wait for the Kia overtaking opportunity of turn one.
Toussaint went very deep into the chicane there. I'm not sure it's at him defending, but obviously really compromised his exit. He just taps the grass. Lucky not to lose the back end, but now Tobster is looking all over the back of him.
As you can see in the rear view camera angle we have of Toussaint, he does have that Honda looking all over the back of him. Look how close these two are getting. It's now going to be the power of slipstream and straight line speed in the runs of turn one. Tobster's got a good exit on the Mercedes driver. Whether Toussaint will go defensive or not, the inside or the outside line, which way will Tobster go, right or left? He moves right over to the inside line. Toussaint doesn't decide to defend him too much, and these two guys going side by side into the braking area now, as Tobster has got the move up into second place, defending really well there, able to allow Toussaint to get the switch back, but Toussaint's going to go for a move down the inside. He's able to get a good run, and that's promoted him back up into second place, but Tobster's going to try and hold it around the outside, which will be the inside line. Really good battling from these two guys side by side for a lot of these corners now. We'll see. Will we see Toussaint go for another move? Not quite yet, but all this battling is going to allow Tiger to catch up, and yeah, he did look for it there. I thought he was going to go for it, as he's got a good exit actually.
He's going to look into the chicane.
Would he go for the outside? He appears to be going for the outside. Tobster on the right hand side, the inside line.
Which will turn into the inside for Toussaint, so he's hoping maybe they hold around the outside. And this will now, he gets the big squeeze on him, and then he pushes Tobster a little wide there, but he makes the overtake. But all the same, this didn't play dutchy.
As Tobster goes down the inside, really good move from Tobster, back down the inside of him.
I think Toussaint may have let him by there.
Potentially.
As Toussaint's pulled over.
Toussaint's ran wide, and that's allowed Tiger to go through.
What happened there?
Let's have a quick look at that again from his onboard. Not that camera either. Come on, game. There we go. So, on board with Toussaint now, and he's turned in a bit late, and he's got onto the curb and the the AstroTurf, and that's drifted him wide. If anyone remembers watching the Germany Grand Prix in real life, that final few corners where if someone ran wide, they were just a passenger into the barrier, similar to Toussaint. Get onto the curb on some of these corners, and you're just going to be a victim into the barriers, or one ride, as these have a high speed corners.
GJ in the pits.
GJ is the first driver to come into the pits.
He had 5% fuel, so that is interesting. As Joe Black, oh no, that was a bit of lag.
And now it is Toussaint versus Tiger for third place. I believe this is our closest on-track battle, but I think Met Boy and Cryptech. Looking at the mini-map of the two next cars that are going close together. Yes, it is Met Boy all over the, well, not all over the back of Cryptech just yet. 6/10 separate them for now. We'll have to keep an eye on that and see if there's any moves from those two. But Tiger now defending from Toussaint in the Mercedes. Forgot what car he was in there. The Aston versus the Mercedes. Not the first time I've had to say that this season, so maybe we'll see these two battle it out again. What Toussaint looks for a move on the inside, maybe on the outside, as he does run a little bit wide, but that could be him looking for the move. As
Met Boy's caught up to Cryptech, so Met Boy's showing some pace, as he is a reserve driver, so maybe he might have a look at maybe joining the league for the remaining couple of races.
Potentially, we do have
Toussaint and Tiger.
Yeah, Toussaint and Tiger going side by side.
Tiger down the inside, or he will have the inside line into the first corner.
Toussaint in the Mercedes on the right hand side. The current championship leader goes down the inside of Tiger, and that's put him up to the P3. But Tiger does try the switchback. He'll try and get a good exit for the run into turn 3. As they are turn 1, there's a little kink for turn 2. Shortly after now into turn 3, the quick left-hander easy to go, either cut the corner on the inside or the outside, as these drivers will be pushing to find as much time as they can.
Oh, it's Met Boy's gone wide into turn 1.
Met Boy running wide into turn 1. I was just about to say the gap has opened up to 1.3 seconds, but it's now 2.4 seconds. So that's cost Met Boy a lot of time, potentially pushing a little bit too hard in the early stages of this race. We're currently 37 minutes left in the race. We've had 23 of them minutes on lap 14. And Holland Campion picks himself up a 10th penalty. He's currently running in 6th place. Has 3 seconds in front of him to Duke, who is kind of running his own race at the moment, along with some of the guys at the back who have pitted, alongside the likes of GJ Oriel and Joe Black. Those guys have all pitted for fresh tyres and fuel.
As Play Dirty has a 15.2 second lead, so he's shown why he has won 4 or 5 races, 8 of 5, which is quite amazing, I think.
It's quite the stat to have, and I think our closest on-track battle is between Toussaint and Tiger. Tiger will almost look for the move down the inside, unable to make anything of it yet. 7/10 separate these two drivers, and we'll have to wait and see how this battle plans out. Obviously, we've seen strategy change a lot of these battles in the past. Similar to last week, Topster and Toussaint had their battles after the pit stop, because unlike other motorsport games, these drivers can choose for damage, tyres and fuel, and how much fuel they put in is up to themselves. So we'll just have to wait and see. Obviously, putting in less fuel will mean a slower pit stop, but you'll be having to conserve your fuel towards the end of the race. More fuel will allow a longer pit stop, and obviously you'll be able to burn more fuel and be quicker for the end of the race. So it'll be interesting to see what some of these guys do. And,
yeah, as I would say, stops are going to start occurring in a couple of minutes, or maybe next lap, as I think when GJ went into the pits a lap or two ago, he was on 5% fuel, so that might be an indicator. I know drivers use their fuel in different ways, but I'd say that as Tiger comes into the pits,
Tiger the first out of the leaders to pit. And hello Jimmy in the chat, I'm doing very good, thanks. How about you? So Tiger only had 2% of fuel, so that's an interesting indicator for the leaders. So whether they'll pit or stay out, we'll have to wait and see. As where will he come out? Will he come out in traffic? He appears to come out in some clean air behind Holland Campion and in front of Cryptech. Met Boy that comes into the pits. Does he change tyres? He does change tyres. He puts on a set of super softs and is refueling his Audi. So I believe if we start at the back, Joe Black has pitted along with Woody, Simmerber and Oriel. Met Boy's coming to the pits as well. GJ's also into the pits, and I think it's Tiger is also the other driver to make a pit stop. So it's just the Cryptek and the top 5 who are the ones left to pit. As Play Dutchy now is coming through the final corner now. Will we see him pit? Let's get him on board. He stays out.
No.
Interestingly, he stays out. So he's done well to conserve his fuel. We'll see if Tobster comes into the pits. There's actually a battle going on for 8th place here between GJ and Metboy.
Tobster is coming into the pits.
So Tobster into the pits. Will 2 Saint follow him in? 2 Saint follows him in. Although 2 Saint follows him in. As Metboy's all over the back of GJ now. They only had 1% of fuel. Interestingly, as Metboy tries to go round the outside of GJ, GJ goes defensive to the inside. Metboy does go a little bit deep into the hairpin. And he's unable to get the move as of yet. But Play Dutchy stays out as Duke pits. And everyone pits other than Play Dutchy. And it says here, okay, so Tobster's actually come out ahead of 2 Saint by quite a bit actually, 4 seconds.
Tobster did come to the pits ahead of 2 Saint, but I don't think they had that big of a gap.
But now for the battle for 8, as Metboy's in the slipstream, behind the Subaru driver. Battle for 8th place. Metboy currently replacing JJ Power. Will he go for him if he looks to the outside? GJ defends the inside line. As Cryptek's coming out the pits now, he might get involved in this battle. As he's actually come out just ahead of this battle. So it's now become a 3-way fight for 7th. As Metboy, Cryptek getting a little bit loose on the rear. As Cryptek also, Metboy having a go. He's going to go down the middle of both of them. Really good move from Metboy. 2 cars in 1 corner. We're going to have to get an on board of that.
I will be back 1 second, sorry.
On board with Metboy is, you can see there, Cryptek in front of him getting really loose on exit. And Metboy in 9th place just goes straight through the middle of both of them. Really good move from Metboy in the Audi. He's out to show, to see what he can do tonight. Obviously replacing JJ Power. So JJ Power, if you're watching, your replacement driver is making some good moves in this race. Has played Dutchy pits and has come out in the lead. You can see there Tobster up the start of the straight and Play Dutchy at the end. So Play Dutchy still retains his lead, but how much of a lead is it? 12, 13, 14 seconds. And that gap is increasing, but I think it is around the 14, 15 second markers. We've actually got a bit of a battle going on for the 2nd place between Tobster, 2 Saint and Tiger. But I'm not going to keep away from this battle for 7th place. We've currently got another 3-way battle going on for 7th. 3-way battles seem to be a common theme in this league. Metboy, GJ and Cryptek are all going to be going at it here on the straight. The start-finish straight. We've seen many overtakes into turn 1. As Cryptek will have the slipstream of GJ, who has the slipstream of Metboy. So Metboy's kind of a sitting duck in this scenario. As we're going to get an on-board cam of Cryptek. GJ goes defensive to the inside. Cryptek tries to go round the outside. Unable to make the move. You can see on the right-hand side he's still there. The Aston versus the Subaru. This is Cryptek's 2nd race. He joined the league last week. And has broke a little bit early, allowed GJ to go through. So clean racing from those 2 drivers again. Metboy is able to keep his 7th place, GJ in 8th and Cryptek in 9th. So we'll, actually let's have a look at the fuel that these guys are running. You can see in the bottom left we have all the tyre and fuel information. We go with Metboy. He's put on a lot less fuel than GJ and Cryptek. So GJ's put on a lot of fuel here. He'll be able to burn that. And he's going to be pretty slow for the next few laps, as he is going to have a heavier car in terms of fuel. As a top 4, I've actually put on a variety of different fuel loads actually. I believe it's Tiger who's put on the most fuel, as we got Duke running in 5th place. So we'll see what he can do. And well, let me know in the chat how you think this race is going to evolve. Who you think is going to be maybe like a dark horse in this race and potentially get involved in some good battles. Well, let me know your favourite overtake, and let's have some involvement in the chat and see how things turn out. As also at the end we will be doing a driver of the day. If you guys do want to vote for a driver of the day, I'll can do that for you guys. But we got GJ now looking for a move on Met Boy. He looks to the inside line, down the inside, a little bit late on the brakes. That gets onto the grass and causes the rear of the Zubri to snap out a little bit. That's allowed Met Boy to go back through, and the gap's kind of opened up a little bit. 9/10 either way, in front and behind. So unfortunate for GJ, a little bit late on the brakes, maybe underestimated the power of the slipstream, but you can see on the minimap, Tiger's catching up to Toussaint, and that could allow a good battle for third place. But, so keeping an eye on this battle, GJ, after making that slight mistake into turn 1, catching up to Met Boy, he's going to use the slipstream to his advantage, and Cryptek will probably hope to capitalise on any mistakes these guys make, and back up to the battle for third. Toussaint now on the stop of the straight.
Did Cryptek make a mistake?
I believe Cryptek and all, I think everyone's made their pit stops now. So we've seen a few drivers move around. I believe Cryptek was in 7th place. He's now down to 9th. Hello, Atom Grim in the chat. Good to see you're joining us. And yeah, I believe this battle is our closest battle on track. Met Boy and GJ. The battle for 7th place as we're just past the halfway stage of this race. Now to the start-finish straight. GJ will have the slipstream on Met Boy. We'll see what these guys can do into turn 1. I'm not sure GJ's close enough to make the move. Have to wait and see. Doesn't go for anything just yet, but Woody now closing in on Simaba. Woody go for a move, doesn't quite go for a move yet. So Woody and Simba's another battle to watch here. Woody runs a little bit deep into turn 1, but it hasn't cost him too much time.
As GJ's dropped back a bit from Met Boy a bit, the gap's gone to 1.1 seconds, so...
As Play Dutchie has a 15.9 second lead in this race. Down out to 15.6.
Very impressive.
But as you can see, Tiger and Toussaint, only 7/10 separate those two, so it's the battle for the podium position. Obviously this is good for Tiger in terms of his championship standings. He's only a few points behind Jojo Power in 3rd place, and obviously Toussaint it's a good result for him in 3rd. His nearest championship contender is Duke, but Tobster running in 2nd place will give him some good points. Obviously with only 8 corners to go, Tobster retired from last week's race due to a disconnection, and if you remember, me and Thunder were left speechless after the events that occurred there. And now it's kind of a redemption drive for him. If he could get 2nd place, I'm sure he'd be really happy with that. Maybe push for the win, but 15 seconds in 26 minutes will mean at least 1.8 seconds a lap on Play Dutchie. So
I think I'm gonna reckon we're gonna get about 30 to 35 laps, maybe. As Oriole's in the pits.
So Oriole coming into the pits, maybe there was some damage, potentially, I'm not too sure. So. But he is going to put on the, what tyres does he go on? He does go on to the super softs.
Very interesting stuff.
So maybe he's going to use the super soft tyres to push and try and gain on Woody and Simaba, who are currently battling for 10th place. So, moving up top.
Play Dutchie's fast lap.
Play Dutchie's one fast lap for 1:36.8, and that's quite an outstanding fastest lap. I believe qualifying was a 1:37.0. He's gone 2 seconds quicker than his qualifying time. That's how quick Play Dutchie's going. He set that lap time on a lap that I cannot tell you because it's before lap 13 and the leaderboard doesn't let me see that. Actually, let's have a look at the live timings. There's some information if you want to have a look. Just thought I'd bring this up. As we can see on the circle map, as actually you can see here, if I move my cursor, there's you can see where, this is a good information to see where the battles are. As you can see, we've got Toussaint and Tiger going close together. You can see the chat in the bottom left has popped up as Toussaint picked himself a 1 second penalty. That's going to cost him, well, a second in this race. It will be 2 seconds if he doesn't serve it by the end of the race. So the penalties will round up. And I know it says a 1 second, but it will round up to 2 seconds if he doesn't serve it to the end of the race. But he does
Would
have
you call
Tiger in the
it
Aston behind him. Fuji are known quite easy actually to probably track extend and corner cut, as there are many different lines and you can really under or overestimate how quick or slow you need to go into certain corners. So we'll see how this battle turns out, and I think it was
as Woody's got past
7th and 8th.
Simmer.
Woody getting past Simmer, but he's now up into 8th place. Good. I'm sure it was a good move. Unable to catch, unfortunately, as you can see on the leaderboard. Only lets me see a certain amount of drivers. I believe it's 8. Yeah, it's 8 drivers we can only see on the leaderboard. So unfortunate for him. Unfortunately, we didn't see that, but I'm sure he's now going to try and push in on. I believe it's Cryptek in 9th place. So we'll see how he features in that battle.
GG has really caught up to Metboy again. He dropped off a bit, but now he's right behind him. So maybe on the start of this straight now, he might look for a move. Just depends how he hooks up the last 2 corners here. But he'll be hoping to make it up in 7th place. And even though at the start of the race he did get damaged, so really good recovery drive by GJ. The Costa Rican really showing what he can do.
Definitely, and he'll be looking to try and get a good exit through the final corner. Getting the slipstream behind Metboy. It's a decent exit. He is gaining on Metboy. Gap 7/10. Just look, what's the gap? The delta in the top left. 7/10 now. 6.5 now. 6/10. 5.5 He's gaining, but I'm not sure he's close enough to make a move just yet. And you can see in the background actually, Oreo, Simmerbo, and Woody will potentially be battling into turn 1. Woody goes defensive to the inside. He'll be defending from the Nissan driver. Simmerberg will have the outside line. Woody go for the move on the outside. Tucks in behind the BMW for now. Good, yeah, good defending from. Good defending from Woody. As I want to get a replay of this for you guys. I'm so sorry, Oriel, but let's just have a look. Let's just appreciate this save here. Through turn 1.
Damage.
Would Oriel lucky to catch that, and Simmerberg getting rear damage, you say? Interesting. I'm not sure where he got that.
I think he may have got it at like.
Could have been while they were battling, but now we've got a 3-way fight here. Another common feature in this league: 3-way battles. We saw some earlier in the race.
Tiger.
And Oriel
got up to the back of 2 Saints.
Oriel going round the outside of Simmerbo into the hairpin. A really good move from him. What a move from Oriel round the outside.
Yeah.
And just like you say, Tiger catching back up to 2 Saint now. 2 Saint with a 3. So we'll see what they can do.
How's Saint there's a 310 penalty?
Saint picking himself up a 310 penalty, and it's actually Play Dutchy. I believe he's lapping someone. He's coming up to lap Joe Black, so Play Dutchy really on pace, and cars don't ghost when you lap. So Play Dutchy, sorry, Joe Black, yeah, gets the blue flags and moves out the way cleanly for Play Dutchy to go through.
Is the speed difference Oil has? He's going to have to move Durham even before the breaking point, and that is a nice move.
But Woody got back down the inside. Really aggressive move from Woody, a little bit of contact. And Oriel maintains 10th place. Is really good move. 2 cars in the space of half a lap from the Spanish driver and the Mercedes. He's trying to see what he can do after he had his incident. Turn 1, lap 1. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that battle as well. But 2 Saint and Tobster, actually 2 Saint and Tiger are still going at it. And another look at the track map for you guys. You can see that's where all the drivers are running. You can see we've got a battle for 7th, battle for 10th, and a battle for 3rd on the mini map. And I think the closest battle
is between GG and Metboy.
Is between GG and Metboy in 7th place. Really key, a nice feature to have that actually. Just having a look at where everyone is. But Metboy now having to defend from GG on the start-finish straights. Another key overtaking opportunity. And if you guys give me 1 minute.
GJ's he's just a tiny bit too far back, I think, to make the move.
And yeah, I think so. Oh, actually, he's going to go
he's
for it
gonna
though.
get down the inside.
There's a little bit of contact. He doesn't get any
was a bit
damage.
late.
Could have late move from him. Let's just have another look at that. See who was looks who was at the wrong, but how late on the brakes he was. As he, it's an interesting one actually. I'm not sure how to explain that one, but
I think
I'll write it
maybe
down
was
as
bit
a
of
racing incident.
I don't think Metboy was really expecting GJ to be that late in the brakes, and then I think Metboy just turned in, but no contact or no.
Oh dear! I pressed the wrong button on my keyboard. Almost just turned off my PlayStation. Can you imagine that? Almost turned off the PlayStation on the keyboard. Hello to Black
impressive.
Country Mush on in the chat. How are you doing? Good to see that you are. Good to see you here. We do have Toussaint and Tiger still battling for third place. Tiger really want to get into front of Toussaint for his championship. Also, Toussaint wants to defend his championship lead from his nearest rival Duke, who's currently in 5th place.
Duke's had a bit of a lonely race. He hasn't really had to do much, but P5 still a very solid result. He has a 20-second lead to Huntington. He is 8.5 seconds ahead of him. But we also have on the other Played Dutchy with an 18.2 second lead, which is another great lead.
As GJ now going down the inside of Metboy. Metboy's run wide into turn 1. I was just able to catch the end of that, and
Woody's in the pits.
Wow, Metboy having a massive slide. Let's just get a replay of this. Metboy really late onto the brakes. We're right on board with him here as he's gone wide, and as he rejoins the track, just look at the AstroTurf.
Tiger's going to go down the inside into the last corner. And he
Tiger now
makes
down
move.
the inside of Toussaint. We're right on board with Toussaint now as we'll get a bonnet cam perspective of Toussaint. Tiger, good move down the inside into the final corner, and he was able to get the traction actually. The gap's increasing to Toussaint behind him.
Yeah, I think the gap's just starting to go down now as Pacer has turned with the slipstream. But the straight, I don't think it's quite low unless Toussaint is extremely late in the brakes, which he won't be.
As Toussaint now served his penalty.
As
and
Woody went into the pits.
so interestingly, Woody pits. I'm not sure what that was for. He has got blue flags to play Dutchy, who's on another level here. Currently, like you say, 18-19 seconds clear of 2nd place. So really commanding drive from him today. But let's just have a quick look at the live timings and the circle map. Actually, let's go to the track
Tiger
map.
runs a little bit wide.
As you can see here, we do have the battle for 3rd and 8th. I think the battle for 8th is about to kick off between Metboy and Cryptek. Really nice feature. I do like how we can see where everyone is on the track there like that. It's able to give me the best over. You know, I'm able to see where these battles are as Cryptek goes down the inside of Metboy. Cryptek with the inside line. Metboy tries the switchback move, but he's unable to get the traction. It's a good move from the Aston Martin driver in the Red Bull. We'll try and have a look and see how this battle pans out for the rest of the race. And there was another battle somewhere else. Can't quite remember where it was. If I go back to my little track map, we've got 3rd and 4th, and I don't know what I was looking at, but if we go back to the battle for 8th place between Cryptek and Metboy. Cryptek in the Aston Martin, we'll see what he can do. He's running a Red Bull styled livery along with a Red Bull styled helmet. Interestingly, as we've seen, he's the Red Bull driver from the Freshman League. We'll see how this battle pans out, but we've also got the 2 British drivers, Tiger and Toussaint, battling for 3rd place, currently 1st and 4th in the championship. As actually the top 5 in this race are your top 5 in the championship, but not in the correct
Tiger.
order.
Tiger nearly losing it. Great save by Tiger. As Clay Dutchy is coming up to lap Woody 212. So.
And it's at the same place, coincidentally, that Joe Black let Play Dutchy through. Ish. as Woody
Yeah,
still remains
well,
in front of him, but I'm sure on the straight will be the time where Play Dutchy gets in front of him cleanly, and hopefully there is no incidents between those two drivers, and we can all have a happy race. As this might actually help Play Dutchy out a little bit with the slipstream.
yes, Woody should be moving out or over, or he shouldn't be trying to defend his move.
As the leader down the inside of Woody, and no carnage there.
I think that's the first overtake I've ever seen Play Dutchy make.
That's the second overtake Dutchy's made in this race. One on Joe Black and one on Woody. So I'm sure he's having a very fun time winning. As we've now got a battle for third place. Toussaint picking up a time penalty, 8/10 to his name. Does it go for a move as Metboy gets past Cryptek in the hairpin down the inside, and that's allowed Metboy to get in front of the Aston Martin driver. However, he is going to have to defend into Tail 1. Cryptek will have the slipstream on the straight.
The gap between Toussaint and Tiger's now 3/10. So maybe onto this straight.
Cryptek looked for it down the inside, unable to make any moves just yet. We'll see. Well, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens, I guess, as now the slipstream, straight line speed is all these drivers are going to need. Well, these two drivers are going to need for the straight into turn 1, as Cryptek gets in front of Metboy before the corner, but Metboy's going to tuck in and getting behind Cryptek. Would he go for the inside? He moves over to the outside line. The Audi around the outside will probably try the switch back. Move, unable to make anything of it. Good move from Cryptek. He's back up into 8th place.
Toussaint is all over the back of Tiger now, onto the straight. If he gets a good traction and a good exit, there might be an overtake, because he takes a different line to Tiger, and the line has worked, and he's all over the back of Tiger at the start of the straight. He might even have the move done even before the corner.
Potentially
as
is.
they're going side by side.
Side by side in the run down to turn 1. It's a very long straight. It's 1.5 kilometers long. As Toussaint will go down the inside, late on the brakes. That will allow Tiger to have the switchback move. Doesn't go for the switchback, actually decides to stay behind and get a good exit. Maybe we'll see him go for a move, potentially to turn 3. Would he go for it? Doesn't decide anything yet.
As Joe Black is about to get lapped by Topster.
So Topster running a very good ball. A clean race in P2. He done well to get himself back up into P2 after having his battle with Toussaint and Tiger now, as he's approaching the Mustang, and the Mustang runs wide and lets them guys go through. But now Toussaint getting, well, this remains his advantage
as
over
Woody's
Tiger.
Right behind Woody is right behind Simmerbear.
Woody go for it down the inside. It's a good move from him into the final corner. Simmerbear's gonna have the switchback move. But back on board with Toussaint and Tiger. Tiger might go for a move actually into this final corner. Like you say, that maybe, well, like we've said for the whole race, many different lines, especially in this final sector. Joe Black moves out of the way of these two guys in the same place that Dutchy lapped them. So it's good to see that these drivers respect the blue flag rule, as Simmerbear unable to go down the inside of Woody. Woody going round the outside into the turn 1. But now Toussaint and Tiger will be going at it. We have 10 minutes to go in this race, and we're on lap 31 with 10 minutes to go as Tiger moves to the inside line. Does he go for it? He goes for it late on the brakes. Maybe actually perfect on the brakes as Duke pits.
Oh. Duke pits?
So Duke does have a 17-second gap, so maybe he was going fast as a lap potentially.
I don't think anyone's going to be playing Dutchy's fastest lap, if I'm being honest.
Have to wait and see. So
as Toussaint takes Tiger.
So Toussaint back up into 3rd place. This is doing himself good in the championship. He's currently 10 points clear from Duke in 2nd place, and Duke down to 15th. So if Tiger actually gets in front of Toussaint, the championship could take a massive flip on its head, as the gap between Toussaint and Tiger is only about 30 points, I believe. That's definitely going to close things.
I shall get this championship standings up.
Played Dutchy Pits. So with Topster in second place, that's going to allow him to close in on his championship fight. He's currently in 11th place. Obviously he's only finished in 2 of the races. Missed one, DNF from the others.
You'd wonder though, Play Dutchy's now going to have to lap the other cars again. So just add that extra risk factor into his race.
That's the closest battle. Is still for 3rd place. Toussaint and Tiger still going at it. They've been going at it for the majority of this race. If you have a driver of the day, you have 8 minutes to put in your submissions. And let's just have a quick look at the track map. You can see this is where all the drivers are in relation to the circuit, as I think here is our closest battle. As you can see, Play Dutchy coming up to lap the guy in 12th place, who is Simmerber.
So the standings are, that's not really telling me this. So in first place you have Toussaint with
I believe Toussaint's on 172 points, and I think if I remember correctly, Duke's on 162. So Duke 10 points behind in 5th place. I believe 5th place is 15 points.
I'm not sure, but in 3rd place you have Jojo Power with 145 points. And then Tiger, if he remains in his position, he would overtake Jojo Power because he's on 139 points.
And Jojo Power
wasn't able to make this race.
Currently in 9th place is his replacement Met Boy. So I think, if I remember, I think that's 6 points for 9th. I have absolutely no idea. I'm not guessing. I'm trying to remember, but
educated guess.
Oh, Toussaint and Tiger going really close to each other into turn 1. Try and get the points up real quick whilst these guys are battling. Don't want to really miss anything, and here we go. So Play Dutchy will score 30 points for coming first, and Topster will get 24 points to his name in 2nd place. Toussaint in 3rd. If I can get to Toussaint, there we go. 21, 18 for 4th, 15 points for 5th, 12 for 6th, 10 for 7th, 8 for 8th, 6 for 9th. So that was a good educated guess. 5 points for finishing in 10th, and 4 for finishing in 11th. 12th 3, 13th 2, and 14th 1. So as long as none of these drivers retire, everyone will be scoring points in this race.
As Tigers close the gap up to Toussaint, this has been the battle throughout the race, as Tiger will be hoping to take over Toussaint for the podium position, but only time can tell. With 6 minutes to go, this could be a very close finish ending.
Hopefully, as coming through the final corner now. Actually, what's the gap? The gap 2.9 seconds to Topster. So I wonder if Toussaint is closing in on him. I'm not too sure. I haven't really been paying attention on the gap to 2nd, but Tiger's now going to have the slipstream. Turn 1. I don't know if he's close enough yet, though. I'm not sure he's close enough yet. As Toussaint remains in 3rd place, so he's able to keep 3rd, but it's not over yet. We still have 5 minutes, only 5 minutes left in this race, as I think that this is our closest battle. So currently in Joe Black in 13th, Simmerber 12th, Woody in 11th, Oriole 10th, Metboy in 9th, Cryptech in 10th, GJ in 7th, Campion running in 6th place, Duke in 5th, Tiger in 4th, Toussaint in 3rd, Thomas 2nd, and Play Dutchy currently leading this race. And I believe, after flicking through everyone, this is still our closest battle on track.
As Black County in the chat saying, will penalties come into play? The penalty system in GT Sport is not the best. You you have to slow down in the straight, but the game detects if there's a heavy braking corner, it takes away the penalty for you. So if you get a penalty, you can slowly get rid of it. So I don't think any driver has any penalties. So penalties won't come into play, I don't think. As Tiger is extremely close.
And also on that point, if one of these drivers were to cut onto the corner or track extend on the final corner, they're not going to have a time to serve their penalty. And in this game, if you come across the line with a penalty, the old penalty used to be it doubled and then rounded up. I think this penalty system just rounds up. So if they get a 5/10 penalty, it'll round up to 1 second as Tiger goes down the inside of Toussaint whilst I was talking about the penalty system. So even if these drivers have a 0.001 second penalty, they'll still get 1 second added to their time at the end of the race. But with this penalty system, unlike F1, if you pick up a penalty, you're able to serve it during the race just by slowing down, lifting off the accelerator, and you'll lose, well, however many seconds you gain. If you have a second penalty, you'll slow down by a second. But there are different variations of how the penalties are in this game. We're using this formation. The other formation is in selected parts of the track. There are what are called slow down markers, and the game will slow down your car to almost like a pit limited speed for the duration of your penalty. But we're using the drivers can serve their own penalties. That's the system we're using. Probably the safest out of the two systems. It's the second one. Can cause drivers to be going at 60 miles per hour on the, well, 50 miles per hour on the straights, and that's not what we want. We don't want drivers to be going at slow on the straights.
Dutchy is about to lap Woody for the second time. As Toussaint's all over the back of Tiger. 3/10 coming onto the main straight. Tiger has the better exit and is extending his lead, but once the slipstream kicks in, Toussaint will have a good look.
You can see there on the onboard that Mercedes is gaining and gaining and gaining on the Aston Martin. He looks to the right hand side, the inside line.
Oh, he's gone very wide.
And he's gone very deep into the corner. That's allowed Tiger to go back through. Only 2 minutes remain. So
that's a lap.
Like a few weeks ago, well, like pretty much every week, if you've got a battle on the final minutes of this race, then it's unlike, you know, a lapped race, you have a set amount of laps, but this is a timed race, so they'll get one more lap in, and then the next lap will be their final lap. It's not the same for everyone, and I think, if my maths are correct, it's Oriol has spun.
Oh, Oriol spun! Oriol spun. Was that? Were you about to say he'll cross the line first?
I was about to say he was going to cross the line first, but I actually think it's going to be GJ. GJ will be the one who comes across the line first, actually, and Oriol. Oh dear. I was about to say, I think Oriol would have come across the line and then he goes spinning. Really unfortunate, but just like we said at the start of this race, go onto the curb and they can really unsettle the rear of your car. That's the second time he span, unfortunately, in this race. And we've only got a minute to go.
Position, but William was just that bit too far back to capitalise on his mistake, unfortunately, as we have Metboy with a 1.3 second penalty. So he'll hope to serve that as...
This is where things get interesting as Tiger, with only 30 seconds to go, this is the final lap for these guys too, so he doesn't go for a move on Tiger yet. He's going to have to make it. There's only one major overtaking opportunity left, and well, potentially two, the final corner and the hairpin, as someone's actually coming into the pits, I think. Oh no.
As GJ crossed the line. Oh no, GJ hasn't crossed the line yet. That is very awkward. As Duke's made a massive... Duke's run out of fuel.
I don't know.
And he hasn't crossed the line.
I think Duke has misjudged the end of his race and tried to do what Tiger done last week. Slow down to the line with the time limit, but he's come across the line with time to go, and that's allowed Holland Campion through. And GJ's come across the line to finish in 7th place, followed by Cryptek in 8th. Metboy is happy with his result in 9th place as he weaves across the track. Oriel, after spinning on lap 1 and the final lap, will come across the line in 10th, but Play Dutchy has made it 5 races out of 5. 5 poles, 5 races, 5 wins. Woody comes across the line almost sideways, but the battle for 3rd place is unfortunately over, I believe, as Topster will come across the line in 2nd place.
Tiger keeps the ongoing run.
Tiger keeps his 3rd place. 2 Satan across the line in 4th. Holland Campion. I don't know what to say. Duke has made a massive mistake. He tried to slow down. He slowed down on the straight and he's waited for the time to come down. I thought he'd ran out of fuel, but he's crossed the line and then sped back up again, and that's allowed Holland Campion, who's going to come around the final corner now, to finish in 5th place, and Duke will finish in 6th place. So there is your final grid for you guys out of round from round 9 here at Fuji. I'll just run through it quickly again. Play Dutchy wins his 5th race out of 5. Topster in 2nd place, followed by Tiger Assassin in 3rd place. 2 State in 4th. Holland Campion in 5th. Duke in 6th, followed by GJ in 7th. Cryptek in 8th. Metboy in 9th. He's replacing Jojo Power. Oreo in 10th. Woody in 11th. Simmerbert in 12th. And Joe Black rounds off the grid. And unfortunately, that race was so fun we didn't get driver interviews in. Completely forgot about it. But there you go. Play Dutchy wins the race, and that has been round 9 here in the GT Sport League at Gavra Racing. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe. We're doing really well. Currently at 926 subscribers, so make sure you do subscribe. We're getting ever so closer to that 1,000 subscriber mark. But once again, thanks for watching. Next week we are at the Suzuka circuit, the obviously, you know, the Japanese Grand Prix, as some people might be more familiar with. And thank you everyone for keeping us company in the chat. But until next week, see you later and goodbye.
Bye.